Hello, welcome to your video for MIN 10 on prayer. Prayer is another spiritual discipline that we can engage with as a means of grace by which we can understand that God has given us this gift of being able to have a deeper form of intimacy with Him through the practice of prayer. Inside of prayer, when we talk about prayer being a means of grace, what we understand is that through prayer we can have communion with God. We can come and have intercession for where we can pray for things for ourselves and other people. We can praise God, recognizing who He is. We can have time and space by which we engage in conversation and communion and intimacy with God. If we are to grow in our love for God and love for others, prayer is part of what we see. When we go to the Sermon on the Mount and we see Jesus's example of prayer here, what we see is that He tells them when you pray. This is something that we need to do. And then He models for us how to pray in the Lord's Prayer that we see there. And when we pray recognizing who God is and recognizing our dependence on Him and recognizing the way that other people are going to need God as well. So I encourage you today to look through some of the prayers in the Bible. We have lots of different examples. Ephesians 3, the second part of the chapter, is one of my favorite. For this reason, I bow my knees before the Father, from whom every family in heaven and on earth derives its name. That's Paul modeling prayer for us there. But he's showing us a way to engage with God, to magnify Him. There are a few different ways that we can pray. Lectio Divina is a popular practice we've seen. And in it, it's like a ladder that moves up to heaven, where we recognize that here we are on earth, but we're moving into a conversation that's actually engaged with things that are transcendent to who we are, moving from the immanent to the transcendent. We see things like CATS or ACTS prayers being practiced in churches. ACTS stands for adoration, confession, thanksgiving, supplication, or CATS just rearranges it a little bit: confession, adoration, thanksgiving, supplication. And these are some models by which people pray and practice these things together. We see sometimes people pray through scriptures. You can look up online. There are ways where you can have a journal that helps you to journal through the Lord's Prayer each step of the way. Our Father, pray something about who God is as the Father of all of humanity, who art in heaven. This talks about His grandness, that He is separate than us, but He has chosen to have intimacy with us through being our Father. And so look today at maybe a different type of prayer. You could do breath prayer, where you speak a truth about God. The Lord is my shepherd. Breath in, I shall not want. Breath out. Prayer doesn't need to be complicated, but it is something that we are given as a means of grace that we do practice in order to grow in love for God, love for others, and have intimacy with God.